here for one purpose only, primarily. Introduce someone who affected my life indelibly and that of the community, Bill Moyers. But I feel preacher-like at this moment. This is like a gigantic parish, and I'm offering testimony. The fact is, I don't hear a word I'm saying. I am clinically deaf. That is, I hear voices, but I don't hear clarity. So during the early days of President Bush's liberation of Iraq, you may recall we heard the phrase, embedded journalists. That's what we heard, ubiquitous phrase, embedded journalists. But to my impaired hearing, it came out with as in bed with journalists. So you realize a hearing impairment sometimes eliminates euphemisms and offers higher truths.
En el escala y sangre de 4 obreros, no fueron los anarquistas, que fue el gobierno.
European, South European. So we have a point of view from countries that were under 50 years of communism, and
we are pro-choice.
And press it has been free only for the last 13 years. So after the revolution, after the fall of the wall of Berlin.
Sent me an email and said, hey, do you want to come be involved in this concert tour that's going around speaking out against the corporate consolidation of the media? And I was like, hell yeah. And they signed me up. That was just like 2 weeks ago.
Study, and they may have given them this fully without merit. Slogan 2, this is by the Program on International Policy at the University of Maryland, funded by the Ford Foundation. And they did a study on Americans' misperceptions and how they correlated with where they got their information on the war in Iraq. And they tracked 3 misperceptions. First one was that there was proof of a connection between Saddam and Al-Qaeda. The second was that we have found weapons of mass destruction. And the third was that world opinion was in favor of our invasion. Now they found that 80% of the viewers who got their news primarily from the Fox News channel believed at least one of these 3 misperceptions.
Sister, rise up. Sister, rise up. Brother, rise up. Brother, rise up. We must rise up. We must rise up. Rise up right now. Rise up right now. Take the streets. Take the streets. Take our streets. Take our streets. A persistent, consistent vision of peace. A persistent, consistent vision of peace.
I'm giving an interview to CBS. Cool Bastards of Soccer.
The Anarchist Broadcasting Corporation.
The Anarchist Broadcasting Corporation, ABC.
Yeah, like in a news report.
Yeah. So basically, we're dealing with Go Green. We're dealing with worldwide oppression, and we need to cut through class barriers and race barriers and sex/gender barriers, and we need to quit arguing with each other. Quit picking each other apart.
That's very nice.
Because you know what, I have better things to do than pick apart people that I'm working with. You know, I'd much rather pick apart Bush and make his ass bleed.
that's what they looked like on TV. At the time, CBS, owned by Westinghouse, General Electric owning NBC, General Electric and Westinghouse, two of the major nuclear weapons manufacturers in the world, making most of the parts for most of the weapons in the Persian Gulf War. No wonder it looked like a military hardware show. No, war is blood and gore. And if the media accurately portrayed war, then the people in this country would overwhelmingly be opposed. In fact, leading up to the Persian Gulf War, and then again, 10 years later, leading up to the invasion, most people were opposed. Fairness and Accuracy in Reporting did a study in the week leading up to General Colin Powell giving his push for war at the UN Security Council, and the week after. In that 2-week period, ABC, NBC, CBS, and PBS NewsHour with Jim Lehrer. They did 393 interviews around war. 3 were anti-war voices. 3. This is not media that is providing a forum for a diversity of opinion. This is a media that is beating the drums for war, and it must change.
The Cold War now is over, but the stakes are getting higher. I'm frightened of collateral damage and a friendly fire, and I don't believe we can defeat no axis of evil by putting smart bombs in the hands of dumb people.
I think the unions, have got a huge war chest for the next election. And sadly, all that money is going to be spent on Fox TV, putting adverts on Fox TV, and that's a real disappointment. So, I'd like to see the unions sponsoring concerts, putting on free festivals, bringing young people in to hear conscious artists and speakers, and showing people that unions aren't just about when things get nasty, that unions are actually about a community of people working together. The old message remains the same, is that your capitalism is going to exploit you, and the reason unions are there is to make sure that you exploit your labour on your terms rather than the boss's terms.